Starlink internet, absolutely amazing for those areas that are out of reach because there's no connectivity, or in war zones where the connectivity has been interrupted or completely broken. But it's not suited at all for content creators like me, and I'll tell you why. Over a year ago, May 2021, I actually got the first Starlink in Belgium. And I did a video about that, so check it out here, where I give the initial results of the connectivity. And I was getting some really good results with over 300 megabits download speeds and up to 60 megabits of upload speeds. Now those numbers were also pretty consistent, at least getting over 250 down and getting around 40 to 50 up at least. So that was awesome. And there were a lot less satellites at that point. So I was really happy with those results, and I was really happy with Starlink, and even thinking of kicking out my landline provider. Now, just to put it in perspective, from my landline, I am getting a 300 megabits per second down and 30 megabits per second upload speed when I pay 70 euros. Starlink up until this point has been costing me 99 euros. So to get that same or similar result, it was a lot more expensive. Now, Starlink has recently dropped the price from 99 euros to 85 euros a month. That price is becoming a little bit more competitive, but it's not on the same level yet, because if I pay 15 euros additional, which I am doing in my case, to get a FiberNet boost, as they call it, with that provider, I am getting gigabit speed downloads and 50 megabits of upload. So that is definitely a big difference, and the price for Starlink is still too high for what it provides. Now, of course, you can say, well, you can take it with you and you can put it on a camper, sure, but you're paying on top of that price. So it is becoming even more expensive. But I do agree that the portability for Starlink is definitely something that you cannot have with your landline provider. So if you travel a lot, yeah, sure, it is definitely going to be worth getting Starlink. But why do I say that it is not suited for people like me? Well, let's look at the numbers. Over the past couple of days, I have been doing several checks of the internet connectivity speeds. And at first I saw, well, I get downloads from 278, which is awesome, but also all the way down to 127, which is not so awesome at that point. Now, these are taken over the course of an hour. So there's a big difference in 1 hour time between the top speed and the lowest speed that you are getting. That is definitely a point. Now, what worries me more, as you look at downloads, everything above 100 megabits per second for most people is more than okay. And they will do just fine with that. You can Netflix on that with several people. There's no problem doing that. For me, the problem lies in the upload speeds, because I want to upload multiple gigabytes of video, or if I want to live stream, I need at least 10 megabits per second to do a single stream. If I use guests, then that guest will get a separate stream to his computer. So that means I have two streams going out, and I need at least 16 megabits per second to accommodate for that. Now, if you go back to those numbers, then you actually see that the uploads range from 23, which is fine, to 18, 8, 14, 14 and a half. So those are not enough for doing live streams with guests. Now, of course, how many people do that? Actually, there's not a lot. So I am definitely a corner case on this, and I do realize that that is the case. But on the other hand, it is what it is for me. And also I have seen, especially when it drops to 8, I have seen that I have been disconnected from Teams meetings, from Zoom meetings, where it gets choppy, and then just the connection drops altogether because the buffer cannot handle it anymore. And that is not good because I've been thrown out of work meetings because of Starlink. And that is something that I'm not happy with. It's not really professional to do it like that. But as I said, other people are getting better results. Maybe my cell has become so crowded that the numbers have gone down, but the result is what it is, and it is not suitable for me at this point. Going back to the numbers, where I took the same numbers, but with a fixed connection. So the first one was on Wi-Fi, directly connected to Starlink. And Starlink is like one and a half. I can look at it right now. It's 1.5, like 2 meters away from me. So the connectivity was not obstructed. It's just clear air between it. I left the door for the studio open on that. So that is definitely something that, would not obstruct. Now, if I look at the numbers here for the fixed line connection, then I go from 180, 200, 241 to down to 112, even over the fixed line. So it's not my Wi-Fi connection that is the problem. It is actually the Starlink connection that is causing the problem. Now on the right side, you can see the upload speeds, 14, 15, 14, 14, and one that suddenly goes up to 27. So the speeds are there. It is capable of doing those 30 megabits per second in upload at least, but it is not consistent at all. Now those 14 and 15 numbers are definitely more than enough to do live streams in a single stream, or Zoom calls, Teams calls, that kind of stuff. That is enough to do that, but the problem is that it is not consistent. And each time that I try it, I see in my software that the stream is buffering, and sometimes it buffers all the way to the red zone where I think, did I drop connection, yes or no? So that is definitely something that is, not good. If it were consistent, awesome, but it's not. Now the final numbers that I took was just before I started here this recording, and then we're seeing again on the Wi-Fi connection 130, 136, 195, 181, 172. So it's below the 200 again, and the uploads again around 10, which is not enough for me to consistently rely on it for the live streaming. So what I will do is, I've already paid for September, so probably this month I will terminate my subscription. I'm thinking of selling the dish because that is possible. You can transfer the dish to somebody else. So I'm thinking of doing that, but I'm not quite sure yet. Maybe I'll wait for another 6 months, then resubscribe and see if it has improved, because there are constantly being satellites being sent up in the sky. So that is definitely something that changes. But for me, Starlink is just not worth it because of all the hassle that I have to switch to my landline connection if I want to live stream. It's just a gimmick in my case. And I do realize, again, as I said in the beginning, it is mainly meant for people that are in rural areas where there's very choppy internet connection or no connection at all. And for those people, it will be awesome, as long as they are not content creators that want to upload multi-gigabyte files to YouTube or any other platform that they want to use for that. So it is what it is. Your mileage may vary. There are people in Belgium I know that have other numbers and a lot better numbers, but maybe they are in a much less denser area than I am, and maybe there's like 100 people in my cell that we all have to share the connection with. I don't know, and SpaceX or Starlink don't want to talk about it. They don't want to disclose those numbers. So for me, unfortunately, that means the end of Starlink for now, but maybe I'll return to it once I get some news that it should be a lot better. I'm sad to see it go because it was cool to have it, but spending that kind of money each and every month for something that doesn't work in my specific case, I think I can spend that money on better things in that case. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and make sure you click that little bell icon so you don't miss out on any new videos. And for now, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye.